Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Robbi Astral, and you have arrived at Robbi Tek. So, you're ready to get rid of that old USB stick. It's getting a little bit grimy. It's definitely a bit moldy. It's got some sort of bacteria on it that's never been known to man before. You had it tested. Who the hell are you for having it tested to begin with? It's as bad as testing Bob Marley's dreadlocks for bacteria as well. That's been done before, by the way. How do you upgrade from a USB stick? Well, easy. You've got those old SSDs lying about because you've upgraded to NVMEs by now, and they're probably too small to be utilized for additional storage devices. So those 128 gigabyte, those 240 gigabyte, 250 gigabyte, 500 gigabyte SSD, standard SSD drives can easily be converted into portable SSD drives. And that's what we're doing today. So I've got myself from Simplecom a couple of portable SSD enclosures, which are not too shabby and not too dear as well. They're quite cheap on a comparison level to other SSD enclosures which are available. The cool thing about these enclosures as opposed to NVMe enclosures is you don't have to worry too much about the heat dissipating or accumulating and having to worry about it being dissipated, because SSDs don't tend to throttle as vigorously as NVMe's do, and because of that you can get yourself something quite premium but also not as dear in price that you may have to pay for an NVMe enclosure on the other hand. Let's open up this Simplecom enclosure here. So we've got one over here. I'll leave the other one aside for the time being. And these Simplecom enclosures come with a USB-C connection point. So you may actually require an adapter if you don't have USB-C in regards to these enclosures themselves, but it enables for a maximum of 5 gigabits a second transfer for your data to be transferred. Realistically, are you going to get those speeds? No, you're confined to the speed of the SSD itself, and the SSD itself, generally speaking, the better known ones will get up to 500-600 megabits a second transfer speeds. So definitely shy of that 5 gigabits a second transfer. But with that said, it's still a lot quicker than your standard 64 gigabyte USB drive, thumb drive that you may still be holding on to, where speeds may only go up to 30 megabits a second. And that's a considerable increase in speeds just for getting an old SSD that's lying about and making sure that you plug it into the right USB port and in turn have the correct transfer speeds available on hand. So what are we going to use today? Well, at first I thought I'd use my old Kingston 128 gigabyte drive. It's been sitting around collecting dust. Unfortunately, I didn't read the fine print, so that's another thing you have to look at. The fine print stipulates that these Simplecom enclosures can only handle a maximum height or width of drive that's 7 millimeters, and unfortunately this is too wide. So luckily though, I did have another drive on hand, and that was a, let's have a look, 860 Evo. So we're going to get maximum performance from our SSD. These are one of the better known SSDs which were available and still are available, and priced comparatively to NVMe's and whatnot. Double the amount of space for the same amount that you'd spend for a 250 gig NVMe nowadays. Get yourself one of these, get yourself an enclosure, and you've got yourself a portable SSD ready to rock and roll with. And we're going to see how simple it is to install one right now. So let's open her up. I do have to be careful because, to be brutally honest, this is actually a boot drive, surprisingly, and I'm not finished with it being a boot drive just yet. But for the purpose of this, grab that there. Now, unlike NVMe enclosures and whatnot, sometimes you need small screws. The Simplecom enclosure for your SSD simply has a USB-C port just here, two little buttons on either side here, which you hold down together and you just simply pull it out. It is a little fiddly to get back in, but pulling it out shouldn't be too much of an issue, I hope, because it felt like I just broke something, frankly. Oh no. And line it up, make sure that these little grooves line up with the grooves inside the enclosure itself, and be careful because they are fragile, and when you lose the groove you lose the connectivity point. So that's another thing just to make sure that you're aware of. And simply you should be able to plug it in, and then the grooves here connect up to where the screw points are for the SSD itself, and will give it rigidity, and then simply just place back in exactly how you pulled it out. Well, hopefully. And then just push right down, straight in, hear the click. It means it's connected to the back of it. You can see the USB-C port still active. Everything seems fine. It's locked in place. And now we got ourselves a handy portable SSD with 500 gigabytes of storage and speeds capable of 5 gigabits per second transfer on the USB-C connection itself. Obviously limited to the speed of the SSD itself. If not, get yourself also an adapter. Little adapters like this from USB-C to USB 3.1 are available. 3.1 will give you maximum transfer rates also. And Bob's your uncle, or she's your aunt, I don't know, but we're done here, guys. So get out of the Stone Age, get rid of those USB thumb drives, get yourself something a little bit more flexible regarding storage and speed transfers. Save yourself the time and hassle, and there you go. You can put whatever you want on that. You can put Linux, you can put another boot drive, you can do whatever you like. And yeah, she's really economical, really cheap. I'm sure you've got an SSD lying about. That's about it, guys. So my name's Robbi Astral. If you found this at all useful, helpful in any way, please like and or subscribe. I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me recently. Robbi Tek couldn't go on without it. It just gives me the ammunition to create more content for you all. It's difficult on low funds, and this way I can actually set aside some money and get some new tech for myself so that I can review it for you guys. No BS coming from myself, no sugarcoating things, no agenda. So please hit that like button and or subscribe. And Robbi Astral here from Robbi Tek, signing out.